Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperweights. I'm Brandon.
Justin.
And I'm Chris.
Hey, welcome back to the pod, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Yeah. So Chris will be joining us, hopefully for all 10 episodes of Wind and Truth. Be fun to have a third-person conversation. My eyes get to go like this as I look at different people. It's funny as I usually never even look at a person on here. So yeah, we're gonna get into this book. It's been a long wait for this book for me. Chris is lucky; he just gets to go right into it after finishing his first read of Rhythm of War. Justin too. But before we jump in, we are sponsored by Mudcat Whiskers, a Louisiana small company that deals with beard care products and candles. They have a variety of fragrances and scents for their beard care products and candles. And they come in wash, conditioner, balm, butter, and oils. And even unscented ones. So if you're a hunter or you're very sensitive to certain smells and fragrances, the unscented work very well. And I use them daily. It keeps my beard soft and dandruff free and, nice smelling. Helps a lot when I'm doing jujitsu and my beard is constantly in people's faces. I've gotten several compliments that I have the best smelling beard on the mats. So
you don't want psychological warfare of bad BO when you're jujitsuing?
That's why I drink coffee right before I go.
Yeah, he makes friends with the beard,
Yeah. So head on over to their website, www.mudcatwhiskers.com, and use code Paperweights at checkout to save yourself 15% and support a small business. So, all right. So, Chris, you've been living in the Cosmere now.
I have.
Which planet have you decided to make your home? I think
Oh,
you
no,
visited
they're
3
all-
of them.
Um,
You visited 4, right? You visited
yeah, you know what? I
Scadrial.
kinda Warbreaker.
Okay.
Because I feel like I have enough, I'm good enough along in life where I feel like if I really wanted to, I could have a few breaths.
Yeah.
And I could like animate little stickmen to do weird little tasks from, I don't know, like it's gonna be fun.
So you you're gonna go live on Nalthis.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want Vasher and Vivina to still be there when you're living there?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because that means that all that bad stuff's already kind of done. Yeah, yeah.
Um, what about Siri and the God King?
Well, that would probably be prime time because he seems like a pretty, like he was a genuinely good person for
I'm
someone with that
drawing a
much
blank.
power.
I'm drawing a blank. Did he actually have a name?
I don't think he did. I think he was just God King.
Eh, Maybe they'll.
It was Leto the Second. He's also the God Emperor of Dune. So.
He is a giant space slug worm thing.
There you
Spoilers.
No, 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 no. Warbreaker.
Oh yeah, sure.
Duh.
go. All right. So, how are y'all feeling about Wind and Truth? We've gotten through day one.
I'm gonna go with the title that you gave it. It's Roshar's 2 week notice.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a 2 week.
it is a 2 week notice here.
No, I am thoroughly enjoying it. Like just kind of got started though. I'm ready to see where it goes. Happy Kaladin's weird.
Happy Kaladin is weird. But Justin, how do you feel now that we have Happy Kaladin and not Sad Boy?
Uh, I mean, it's much better. I mean, he's more just like normal Kaladin. He's kind of like book one after being, or book two Kaladin. Like, it's just kind of like going back to that. It so far it's pretty good. I mean, it's a lot of just setup. Um,
Yeah.
it is hilarious how he wrote out the traveling because it's like, oh, we can just have windrunners come in a couple hours, and then we now all the earth gates are open now. We just I wrote myself into a corner that's going to be 10 days long, even though he also wrote himself an out by Shallan going to the spiritual realm, which can be in all time. So like the 10 days doesn't really matter. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, so like she's essentially gonna
Kind of interstellar.
interstellar it, yeah.
Yeah.
We came to the same conclusion there.
My mind went to Hermione Granger doing a little time thing that never comes back up, but just that.
Yeah, well, it's not so much that she's rewinding time or redoing something. She's
She could
gonna
just
go into
travel.
a pocket dimension that
Yeah.
time is stretched so much further. She's gonna come back as a 50-year-old woman.
Yeah. But she can make hard like copies now, so she'll be fine.
You think she'll leave a copy, a substantiated version of herself as she
I
goes
mean,
into the spiritual realm?
why
Can
not,
she
right? I don't know.
can she give those copies sentience?
I mean, they already do have sentience.
Maybe they do. Maybe there's some substantiated things in the world already that she's left.
Maybe.
So
Yeah, it's good. It is still weird. The timeline is still weird. Like if it was like a month, it would make a little more. But like Kaladin's gonna travel to Shinovar, somehow do like revive a like 4 century old madman and like kill all the government or whatever in like 4 days. It's a little weird, but I'm interested to see how it's gonna go.
yeah, so we can you bring that up. So I liked it as well. It's the pacing isn't as bad as Well of Ascension is, but it does that thing that Well of Ascension did where you're like I didn't know what to expect going into Well of Ascension, but spending 500 pages trying to resolve a siege
Yeah.
and who's going to run the thing was not what I expected the direction of it to go. So it's just kind of like this first day, it was a little more chill than I expected. Um, I think the only thing we really called out correctly was that he would get his tattoo in day one. It was not the first chapter like I thought it would be. It was actually his last POV chapter.
Yeah.
So which makes sense. He's got to go say goodbye to Bridge 4, and that would be like the last thing that happens. So,
Yeah.
but we'll jump into the epigraphs real quick. I didn't pull them up because I didn't want to spoil any other thing in the book um for me for this. So all the other ones I had like copper mine with all the epigraphs for each chapters, but I've read those books before, so I wasn't afraid of seeing
Yeah.
something. But this one I am very afraid. But um, so the epigraphs in day one are excerpts from Knights of Wind and Truth, which seems to be written by Syl. One of the most disconcerting ones was the one where she said that the wind and the heralds no longer exist. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but it was very disconcerting to me. So did any of the other ones or that particular one that I mentioned stand out to y'all?
Yeah, I kind of glossed over them a little bit because they seemed like spoilers. So I was like, I was just kind of not. Um, yeah, kind of like with all of them, they like seem interesting, and then I totally forget about them like 2 seconds after I read them. I'm like, ooh, that's kind of like a fun little thing, and I just totally forget about them.
Yeah,
I kind of want to go on a tangent about something real fast. How you bring up the epithet, the graphs. They so like Brandon and me have been reading Mistborn series also like at the same time, and like I just finished Age of Heroes, and I
Hero of
remember
Ages.
I'm a Hero of Ages, and I remember thinking the whole time how the epigraphs they were either foreshadowing something that was about to happen or they were clarifying something that just happened where you're like, oh, like it helps you realize what's going on in the back. But they were very important to the story. And I was like, I felt with these, I was like, I felt a little bit foreshadowy. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was reminding me more of that. Like, yeah.
I will say I think the best ones he's ever done, since it's like actually really relevant to the plot, is the Mistborn one, Fallen Empires epigraphs, because it's the Lord Rulers thing. All the ones in here are fun, but they don't matter as much. They're just kind of flavor, I guess. And also, he loves making fake books inside of this book. It's really funny because each one of them is a book.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole idea of each book in the Stormlight Archives the name of each of these books is the name of a real in-world book on Roshar. This one is a little slight exception because it's actually the actual title of the book is Wind and Truth, but we saw the actual title in the in-world book is Knights of Wind and Truth. So, um,
It doesn't have the same uh, sound as I don't think the actual book would be good named The Knights of Wind and Truth. So do you think Kaladin makes a new Order of Knights Radiant of the Wind and Truth?
I don't think so. I think the Wind and Truth refer to Kaladin, the Wind, and Seth, the Truth.
Ooh, I like that. So it's
Uh,
Night of Wind and Truth.
yeah. I mean, because like Seth's whole the Skybreakers, right? Their order of justice, right? Truth,
Right.
seeking truth. And we know that he was called Truthless of Shinovar, and so his whole crusade is going to be proving that he was correct all along, and he was true all along.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
we already knew that though. So he was like, the Voidbringers are coming. I'm like, no. He's like, okay. I guess I have to go murder a bunch of people.
All right, I'll go do all these
I
murders.
guess I gotta go murder people.
yeah, so but yeah, the wind is an interesting thing that comes up. Um,
Yeah. A,
old
a,
magic.
a
So
new mysterious spread.
Yeah.
Every book has to have a new mysterious spread, which is fine.
yeah, but like you get the sense that it's not actually like not necessarily a sprint, um, or it's a sprint of sorts. So
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everything's a sprint. technically, or whatever. Like all the
Humans are sprints.
yeah. I wonder if we're gonna have if we're gonna have a fourth impact. A little Evangelion inside joke. I don't know if you've seen
You
it,
could be of
Brandon.
one mind and one body.
Went
Yeah.
over my head there.
Hey,
Uh,
all you anime fans out there, maybe we'll
They're
have
going
some.
crazy. They're loving it.
yeah, what was I gonna say? So it'd be really interesting. So, you know, since we've been reading Mistborn and at this point there's if you've made it to Wind and Truth, you likely have been told by somebody to go read Mistborn before you get to this point. So I'm just gonna say all these episodes are gonna contain spoilers of Mistborn. This book itself confirmed something that spoils Mistborn. But
I,
so
I don't know if you actually need to read Mistborn to actually get anything from this so far, at least. Like
not necessarily, but I mean,
probably at the end of it you will, but
yeah, I
I'll
mean,
take
there's.
it.
Go ahead, Chris.
So, like the last book, the opening epigraphs for where Navani talking about the Fabrials and how like the different metals did things to it. I didn't know it because whenever I read the last book, I hadn't read Mistborn yet. And I remember y'all talking about it, how each one of those metals corresponded to like, how it did in Mistborn, the steel push, the iron pull, like things like that. Like there's a whole lot of you don't need the Mistborn, but now that I've read Mistborn, like even when like listening to y'all talk about like finishing up the episode of the podcast, I'm getting way more little references.
yeah,
And
like
So it
it,
definitely makes it
it
worth
definitely
it.
help, but depending
You
on
don't have to have it.
no,
no,
like Thydakar might as well be a different character for as little as he's shown up. So we'll have to see how. I mean, we'll have to see his portrayal in this. He gets name dropped. Um, but that if you just read the first trilogy of Mistborn, that wouldn't make any sense. So either way, I guess you're kind of good. But it definitely does help because there's apparently a dude from Mistborn that you call it that's in Shadesmar with them.
yeah, that still blew my mind.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, when I was reading Will Ascension, I was like, why is
Does
this
he
name familiar? Just
does he
random
do
ass-
anything in Mistborn? I don't remember this guy at
No,
all.
he's just a scout.
He's just a scout that he was in Straff's army, and then he defected to Eland's army.
Well, apparently he learned like ninja skills and can like hold a herald hostage or whatever. I don't know. Maybe maybe he's a dragon as well.
I don't.
Maybe he's actually Thydakar.
Maybe he's Thydakar.
Maybe he is Thydakar. So,
I am Thydakar.
but what I was going to say is, we know so the Kolos are humans. So what if,
Are they?
Yeah.
yes, they're humans that were affected by ruin, right?
Worse for hemo things,
Hemorrhagic,
spikes, hemalurgy
hemorrhagic
spikes.
spikes, yeah. And so what if this is a wild, wild speculation. What if listeners are actually humans that were um, transformed by one of the gods on Roshar?
Hey, I guess that's possible.
Yeah, I mean,
The answer, because we know that Odium has threatened to make Dalinar a fused, so he would just attach his soul, uh, basically rebirth his soul into new bodies as he died. So maybe all the fused were once humans.
Yeah, I mean, if you do the thing where like humans sprout from the shards of Adel Nauseam, kind of like how Christians believe like we're made in the image of God, then they whatever first shard, probably cultivation, came down and then spawned the Parshendi, and then Roshar itself, since it has like a song or whatever, like morph them. They could be like maybe something like that. Kind of cool. Or they could be aliens. I don't know.
It could be aliens. All right, right.
Oh my god.
20 minutes in, you want to jump into the prologue now?
Yeah,
Now let's talk about Mistborn. All right, so like
we get to relearn that Gavilar is the worst.
Yes,
he
absolutely
is
fucking worse. After reading this prologue, I went and listened to the first words of prologue of book one and said, "Fuck yeah, fuck right, he did." With Seth's son Villano
But
wore
also,
the day he
also
was to be
yeah.
king.
Also, I'm a little confused. Isn't the words he's looking for just the first ideal that everybody knows?
I am pretty sure.
Then
yeah.
how does he
Yeah.
not know this?
No, he doesn't understand why it's not working. So he's
Right?
like, "Oh, I need the words." And it's like, "Well, it's not just the words, man."
So, well, I don't. He never actually said the words, but
In here,
like yeah, in here he didn't. But it sounds
Yeah.
like what he's doing is he's interpreting the words to be his own.
yeah,
But that's not what it is.
he's very stupid.
But also,
It's surprising.
I want to know. And we will hash the summary, but I want to know why the Stormfather didn't tell Dalinar or anybody that he was trying to get Gavilar to say the words and take an oath.
Yeah,
Mm.
he's way more open with Cavalier than sending random visions through high storms. He's just like, "Hey, what's up? You should say the words." And he's like, "Oh, is it this word?" He's like, "No." "Is it this word?" "No." And it's just like it's very weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe even maybe he was like partially bonded with him or something, and then when he died, like he kind of like lost some of his memories. Maybe I don't know. That could be
Maybe.
something. That'd be
Kind
kinda
of left him though that night.
cool. Yeah, kind of just like you're gonna die. Whatever.
Yeah, he is like, I've seen what's going to
Uh,
happen to you. Your legacy. Peace out. Oh, by the way, I didn't cause this to happen.
Yeah,
yeah,
and he's like, you know that guy Dalinar? He sucks. I'm not gonna bond him.
Yeah. So Justin, you doing the
I can.
okay. Or do
You
you want
can
me to?
whatever, whatever you want. I can do it.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is the prologue. It's the same events we've seen 4 other times, except we get Gavilar. Like we said, he's with the Stormfather's just chilling with him, and like telling him a lot of the information. He can just like go into he has seems to have like semi powers because he can go into the visions and kind of control them. It seems like he had a little bit more of that. Um, let's see. He wants to be immortal. He thinks he's gonna like become a herald. He is very dumb. Yeah, we get more of the stuff where he wants to do the Sons of Honor thing to like basically make him immortal. Um, he's also a giant dick. Uh,
Yeah.
he like he like basically belittles Dalinar and like he's like, oh my brother, I can't believe he's still sad about burning his wife alive. But also he almost killed me, so I'm a little worried about him. He's kind of freaking out. Let's see what else are they doing? Oh yeah, he also sends Dalinar. It's funny. He's like, he tells him the codes, and he's like, "Who would ever do the codes?" That's really stupid. But he gives the famous like, "There's something on the winds tonight, Dalinar," and he's like, "Hey, there's a drink over there, guy." He sends a servant to like give Dalinar drinks, which is really funny. To cause him his death. So the codes Dalinar really cared about. His brother did not give 2 shits about, which is kind of sad. So I'm guessing he started trying to do the codes in order to like seem more honorable for the Stormfather. No, I think he even says that. Um, yeah. So then basically let's see. Oh, we get a little appearance by good old Thydakar. And he's like, "What's up? I'm Thydakar." And dude, he wants him to basically give her stories to him. It's the same thing he wants for book 4. And he's a little afraid of him. He gets to see his face. We don't get to see his face. Um, which is kind of fun.
Well,
Is
we
it?
know that there's a large blue spike in one eye,
Yeah.
so
So
that's
he's half Steel Inquisitor.
Well, it makes me think it's not. It's a different character altogether.
Maybe.
Because there's one Steel Inquisitor at the end, and he only has one spike.
Does he?
Mm-hmm. The other
Um,
get knocked out.
they're twins, right? Or twins enough. They look the same.
I mean
They look
they're
almost the same.
brothers, yeah.
Him and
There,
Marsh.
there was mention that at certain light before he became an Inquisitor that you could confuse the two of them. So
Yeah. So maybe it's Marsh.
that would be crazy.
I'd be all about that.
I mean, Marsh is pretty insane, so it makes sense. See, then we get a meeting with all the Sons of Honor and like the
And that was
heralds and stuff.
that was a Sion, right?
I think
The ball that came in.
it's probably that same one that
You get the
Shallan
same
had.
one.
Probably. They seem pretty rare. I don't remember much from Warbreaker
I think these are from
or from Elantris.
Elantris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the next one I read after I finish Hero of Ages.
Yeah. So we get all the heralds coming in. He thinks that they're like kind of bullshitting that they're heralds. He's like, oh, these stupid people. They actually think they're heralds, which is funny. Let's see. Oh, we get that Gavilar and Vasher were tied together, which is interesting. And then we still get that stuff with Ba'adu Mishram and how Thydakar wants it and Restaris knows where it is and all that fun stuff. Um yeah, and then yeah, we get a little bit more about Mishram, about we just stuff we already know about how it gave them forms of power, which sailed away, and blah 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 blah. And probably that's what caused that's well yeah, we get all that stuff. What else? A lot of shit happens. This stupid thing. We get some stuff with Amaram where he's like, "Yeah, I kind of screwed up with your daughter. I don't think it's gonna work." He's like, "Fine, I hate you. You suck. I'm a dick." Um, we get that. We get Teravangian is also a son of honor, which is interesting. I don't know if that was previously established. I can't remember.
It was
Um,
established because it talked about like he and having worked with King Gavilar.
hmm. Then we get a merging of the flashback in book what 4 with Eshonai coming in and seeing him. Then yeah, we get some more stuff that he's trying to become a herald basically, and so he's gonna yeah he
It
wants
tripped me out when when Stormfather was like, "Well, if you become a herald, then you're gonna die, and you're gonna go, and you'll be tortured for forever and ever." And he's like, "No, I won't." He goes, "What do you
No.
mean you won't?" And he goes, "No, I'll just give it immediately and come back to Earth, come back to Roshire." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
yeah
He's like, "Yeah,
It
I
kind
gotta
of
lead these people. I gotta get these people better. I'm just gonna every time I die, I'm just gonna like, nope, I'm out. Peace out. You ain't torturing me."
I
And come
mean
back.
in one way it kind of makes sense, but yeah, because you get all your you just continue the war until somebody actually wins, instead of just having these little jumps. But yeah, yeah, he's basically all crazy. Yeah, he wants to just basically become a hero and just fight and train his troops for Tranquil Iron Halls. He still kind of seems to have as much knowledge as he has. He still has Vorin ideology. Um, and then
He's insanely cocky.
yeah, he's like, I'm a god. I'm gonna be so cool. And
How
then
dare you talk to me like that? I'm a king. It's like, bitch, the Thaddeus is probably like some god. What are you talking about? Like, oh, you're a king of a little nation on this one planet? Like,
yeah, and then we get basically him dying again. I don't
yeah.
remember if there's anything new from
I
that.
like I like that the prologue, whenever it gets to one of the scenes that we've already seen from another point of view, it just kind of skips it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, and then
Except
the
for
listener walks in, and it's kind of like just kind of hurries past that. Doesn't really go over what he did to Navani again. So, like,
right. I mean, there were some things I thought was interesting. So like, I mean, his death, right? We got his death from Seth's point of view at the beginning, and like, he's like, "Oh, I knew Thydekar was gonna send you," and in that one, we didn't know Stormfather was there, and Seth was like, um, "No, I don't know who Thydekar is. My, uh, you know, my masters are the Prashindi." But at that same time, Stormfather in this one said something, and so like I got the sense that Gavilar, he wasn't asking Seth why. He was asking Stormfather why in response to what the Stormfather had said to him, which changes it.
yeah.
It's a cool play on perspective, um, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's cool. I will say, having read all of them, hopefully book 6 does not have another one of these.
No,
Uh,
it's
I don't think we needed this Rashomon thing for 5 books, but it was kind of cool. Like, this was by far the best one. This and the first one. Like, but I'm glad it's done. I don't know how many more times I can read it.
I really like it. And I'll tell you why. Because after the second book, you're like, oh, I know what I'm getting in the prologue. I'm gonna get this from another point of view. So you have that established. So it's a kind of cool thing that ties the books together, how the books start out together. And the first book, it's an assassin killing a king. Very straightforward. And the book itself is very straightforward. It's a slave that's saving himself, and they're fighting these other guys on this desert plain. So the second book, you get Yasna, and you get that her going into Shadesmar, and there's another level to it. And then you get that from the book too. The book gets deeper, and you get more about the actual Radiants and what their powers are. And then you actually end it with them getting going to Urithiru, like you're like, oh, this is real, oh, the void lights are, the void bringers are here. This is the third one, the third one is Eshonai, and you also have a lot of stuff from Parshindi points of view in the third book. The fourth one, you get Navani, and the fourth book really is Navani's book.
Yeah, that Navani one was pretty
I
hard.
also
was-
the fourth book was unnecessary as well, but we don't need to.
Yeah, like I agree they're good.
And then the
Just-
fifth one, and like
Fifth
imagine
one's
like,
by far the best one.
imagine if you hadn't ever read any Stormlight and you just started reading the fifth one. It would be like Moon Talk.
Well, that's any series, but yes.
I know, but like it's just the way the series expanded, the prologues also expanded while also telling the same story, which I
Yeah.
found cool. Like Brandon said, it's playing on perspectives, but it builds on the perspectives the same way what new information builds in the books and the universe is being built. I don't know. I like it. I like it. I think it's a nice little.
I really enjoy it too.
Yeah, it's cool. I think
I don't
that
need 5 more of them. It's
this is
good.
yeah, this is the last one.
This,
Like,
well, yeah, the second 5 books is going to be a completely different arc.
yeah,
Like, I can't see that we need to
yeah,
deal
but
with Gavilar
I
anymore.
also don't want 5 more retellings of another. I think I want something different in the next one.
I'm fine with it as a prologue.
I'm fine
Same
with
here.
it. I'm fine with it too. I really think a couple of them are unnecessary, but it's fine. Like it's not a big deal. It's just something I'm kind of like, yeah, it was good. Kind of glad it's over. With and I'm curious what his motif is going to be for books 6 through 10 or whatever. Is it confirmed to be a 10 book series?
Yes.
Nice.
I mean,
And
how
he
many heralds
already
are there?
has he already has the POVs like for the flashbacks. He
And we're
posted
doing
that
that. We're doing that
somewhere.
too.
Yeah.
He posted that.
Yeah, he posted who the POV flashbacks are going to be for.
So that means he has characters lined up.
Are there characters we know?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
It's kind of spoilers. I know they don't die.
well,
All right. Well, that's cool.
I
I
know
guess.
there's
so,
flashbacks for Eshonai. Eshonai's dead.
True. That was
which
weird.
Justin thought was weird, but
I know he
got
didn't.
flashbacks from her.
But
So I have a few questions before we move on.
yeah.
Um, do y'all have any thoughts on who that unnamed male scholar that Gavilar has is?
Yeah, Vasher.
Yeah.
It's Vash.
Named him. It's Vasher,
Yeah.
I
right?
didn't catch
I
that
think
connection. I know he mentioned Vasher in it, but I didn't catch the.
yeah, because like that's how he like Basher like did research on him and stuff.
I mean, Vasher is a scholar. Is his.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely is one of the 5
Yeah.
scholars.
Yeah, I mean,
You also skipped over the fact that a herald died. So it's has to be one of the female heralds because we've got Talanat that we know is alive. Jezrien just got killed. Nail is alive. Um, Ishar's alive and Kalek's alive. So there's 5 males and there's 5 females. Ash is alive. Bata is alive. So that leaves Shanarok. Um, and there's 2 more. But
you've already named an impressive amount. If you named all 10, I would have been truly like,
Yeah.
well done, sir.
I mean, she would be back anyway, right? So,
Yeah. Unless they void lighted, killed her, or, anti
but they would have.
storm.
That seemed like a first time thing.
Yeah.
it didn't seem like she just got killed and left. It seemed like a permanent thing. Because the way the Stormfather reacted there, it seemed to be permanent. No?
I'm not sure.
I think so. Just how everybody reacted. It seemed like that was the first time a herald died.
Yeah.
Unless they were able to
Right.
like
Oh my goodness.
suppress the bond, the oath back or whatever, so they didn't feel it.
And the 2 that I did not remember, so I got 8 out of the 10. The 2 I did not remember were Videl and Palia.
Now you look them up. Doesn't matter.
The Dell?
Videl, yeah.
Oh, Gohan's wife's in this?
Yeah.
Eh?
So
Uh,
Yeah.
one other thing about the prologue. So I don't remember all the parts of it, but when you're working with investiture, one of the things that's really big is intent.
right.
And it seems as though like one of the things like Gavilar is the ultimate example of does not get that concept. Because he's trying to work with the Stormfather and become a Radiant and get these bonds, but he doesn't understand like, no, 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 no. You don't just have to, you have to believe in this stuff. You actually have to have the intent to follow through with the words. Like you can't just read the Way of Kings. You have to intend to follow the Way of Kings. Like you have to don't just go through the motions. He doesn't have any intent behind his actions.
Yeah, but I don't think he's trying to become a Radiant. He's trying to become a
But he
Herald.
doesn't know what he's trying to become.
No, he says he wants to become a
I
Herald.
know, no, I know he says he wants
Yeah.
to be a herald, but like
But
So that
what Chris
actually
is saying
makes
is he doesn't understand what any of these things are, except that
true.
it's
But
ultimate power. Like he
Yeah.
wants to become a god. Like
yeah,
he's
but
working on his way to become a radiant. He doesn't know that. He thinks he's gonna become a herald, but
no, but that actually makes sense why he wouldn't do the first ideal if he knows that that's how you become a Radiant. He wants to become a Herald, which is
do
different.
you think he knows the words that he has to say to become a radiant, but he's like, no, I'm not doing that.
I don't want to become a Radiant. I want to become a Herald. There has to be something else, like in different words.
I don't feel like he
I
knew
don't think-
enough.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the words for the first ideal. Like everybody. They're like written in history.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of like how that's like the force be may the force be with you. That sounds like the first idea. I'm pretty sure because I mean the heralds are like the radiants are like part of the Warren Church for a long time. Until
Huh. But Gavilar taught himself to read.
yeah, he did. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
All right, chapter 1.
Chapter 1. It's gonna be a short podcast.
Yeah, all right.
We get
Not my fault this time.
true. Chapter 1, Unfamiliar Ground. We get some Kaladin. Well, this entire section is going to be Kaladin and Sirlan, so I'm not going to say it. Because this only has them two. The next one I looked and it has like 1 billion people, so
Yeah,
that'll
there's
be
like
fun.
14 people.
Yeah. I was just reading, I was like, holy fuck. So Kaladin, he's chilling in Erethiru. He's like, I'm feeling good. I'm not depressed anymore. It only took me catching my father from dying to get all cool. He's doing good. The sibling and the tower is doing cool. It's all shiny and warm, and the air pressure is good. And it, for some reason, makes Stormlight last longer, which is cool. He's
And
still
the surges. It makes the surges
Yeah.
powerful and last longer. Like the adhesions last longer.
yeah.
I feel like in the tower, everything's just supplied, almost like it itself is a perpendicularity.
Well, we know that the life light or the tower light ceases to work as it gets too
Yeah,
far
but
away
it's,
from
it
the
seems
light.
to be like always on, kind of like what Chris said, because he can just always fly.
Yeah, you can just kind of like always flow. If you put someone on the wall, they'll just kind of stay there.
Yeah.
Like everything's just energized.
We get Syl. She's becoming more and more human. She's now appearing man-sized. And she's like able to like color her clothing and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, that one is cool where she I don't know if it was here, but if her clothing is colored, it means that she's made herself visible to others. If
Yeah.
it's just blue, she's only visible to Kaladin, and it's just his way of knowing.
There is a funny scene with clothing, but it's not here right now.
Yeah.
So
I told that part to your sister, Chris,
I know.
and she blushed and was like, "Oh my God."
yeah. He's chilling and like then he hears a mysterious voice upon the wind itself. Ooh. I need your help. Ooh, the sibling part 2 is here. And he's like, okay, I guess I'll do something.
Oh my God, it's another Mistborn character. It's Breeze.
Could be.
Get it? Because it's the wind, it's the breeze.
I could see it. All right, write that down as Chris's official theory for what the wind is.
Is this your official theory?
You know what? If it is, I'm gonna love it. I want Breeze to live. He's my favorite character.
I mean, doesn't.
But no, it was a pun. Breeze, the wind.
Are you sure?
I wrote it down.
I'm going for it. I'm going for
it's in metal now.
it. Mm,
I wrote it in metal. It
Fuck, I
cannot be
can't
changed.
change it.
Yes. Let me get Shalon. She's chilling in lasting integrity with Pattern and her other Spren, the Dead Testament. They are she's like chilling. She's like, oh my god, I got two Sprens. And with this we can get to it later when she talked to no, she doesn't talk to me yet. Um so yeah. And Pattern's like, I don't think you're gonna kill me. Which is kind of fun. There's that this when he says
Yeah.
that later. Yeah.
I think this is the one where he was like, I don't believe that you'll kill me. Or maybe it was last book. He said that he doesn't believe that she'll kill him.
Yeah.
But in this section later on, he does say, I want to update my statement and now believe that you might possibly kill me or get me killed.
Yeah. We get some more stuff about how like um they didn't really think the Deadeyes were gonna happen. Like they're like a new thing since like the Recreants, which is probably a result of the Mishram, if I had to think that makes the most sense. Seems to be what they're going for. Um and that's kind of it. They're kind of just chilling.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wrote down a few quotes that I thought were pretty funny. This one's from Syl. She said, tried to get as big as a mountain once. It involved lots of grunting and thinking like rocks. Really big rocks. Biggest I could manage was a very small mountain, small enough to fit in this room with the tip brushing the ceiling. I just imagine Syl being a caveman.
You would
Um,
like walk around the corner, see her doing that. It's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to become a mountain. Okay.
okay.
Like, okay.
Um,
Let me ask y'all this: with Syl becoming more and more human, and we saw the Spren at the end of last book going into the physical realm, do you think Syl gets into the physical realm of this book and like becomes a real girl?
Yeah.
girl.
Justin, make a call. I want Justin to go out on a limb. Make
Yeah,
his
Justin, this is your
I I think day 7. She
day
say
7.
she's able to like get into the real world and like save Kaladin or something.
okay. Syl comes into the
You
physical
know,
realm.
they are going to mess with the Herald who was bringing Spren over to the real world.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
Justin might be onto something on this.
like a Cortana to because I think Cortana gets a thing. I don't know. Seems like I don't know. It's day 7. Let's go. We got 6 more weeks.
Oh, by the
All
way,
right.
it was in this chapter that Pattern said that he no longer thinks Shallan will kill him.
Yeah.
Uh, Kalek also mentions that he thinks Shallan is still bonded in a way to Testament,
Yes.
which will
She
be
is.
interesting.
Like, it's, later on in day 1, she uses when she pulls out the shard blade, it's Testament.
Yeah. I guess
So
we
she
can do
has
that.
some connection.
So, do you think her being able to do the Hardlight stuff and having 2 bonds, since we're doing some Mistborn connections, it feels a little bit like the whatever that's called, where you get stabbed by a spike and you get better powers. Do you think?
Himmelurgy?
No, the is it hemorrhagic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's kind of the same thing with having 2 Nile bonds? And that's why she's able to like substantiate or whatever the fuck it's called.
No, because I feel like in the Stormlight
I mean,
magic,
the spikes are stealing powers
yeah,
They also grant powers.
yeah, but you
by
have to.
stealing.
Sure, I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm saying it's
Well,
like having 2 of the same thing Because
I don't.
that's what gives Vin the power to pierce copper clouds. That she has two. She has her natural ability, and then she has like the thing tacked onto it. Yeah.
I don't think it is
I
because
have
in
a
the
different.
light magic system, it seems the more in touch you are with your bonds and living with your bonds and living true to that gives you power, not necessarily having a bigger or more powerful spren.
Yeah.
You know? Like Yasna, hands down, looks like the most powerful Radiant, and her spren doesn't seem to be of that much character. Like I
Uh,
mean, he's something, but not nearly as present as like.
no, I'm not saying it's because it's because she has two bonds, basically.
I know. I don't think having an additional bond would give her the extra boost.
And
But
I don't think.
yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with your statement that the I have to disagree with your interpretation of the spike or the earring that Vin had.
okay.
'Cause that's what you're referring to, right? The
Yeah.
earring? Yeah. I'm going to have to disagree with your interpretation of that itself just increasing your power.
Yeah, maybe it's retcon later. I thought that was stated in the book.
That is stated in the third book, at the end of the third book.
Yeah, like he like mind controlled her mom to like kill her brother. Sorry for Mistborn spoilers. To like give her
Right?
the
We
extra
warned people
power.
there would be Mistborn spoilers.
Well, that's
Yeah,
more of that's an influence of ruin. That's just
Yeah.
it's not enhancing her
No,
power, it's ruin's control over her.
her sister could burn it. And that's why her mom killed her sister and like used that earring to then put in her ear to give her the power that her sister had. So she has her Mistborn clout, copper, or her Mistborn brass ability, and then her sister's brass ability in the earring. But she
Okay.
never kneit. What gave her
So
the edge.
that's further in the book than I've gotten to remember it.
yeah. I'm
Um,
pretty sure that's true.
but yeah,
That's
no,
also why the
no,
Steel Inquisitors are so powerful, is because they have
Yeah.
like a bunch of people's power.
By the end, I got like 14.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. It's just a fun little maybe coincidence. I don't know.
No, yeah.
But we can move on to chapter 2.
Yes.
Taking the next step, a Kaladin only
We
appeared.
are taking the next step.
Yes, we are taking the next step. He's still chilling at Erethiru. Yeah.
Who goes in potty? Get a treat.
Yeah. She's still. This is where we learn the color coding thing that she does. And she's playing with. They're playing with the family. Uh, we get some more stuff about Erethiru. How it's like we get some mechanics on how it's infused with like storm tower light and stuff like that. He's chilling. Let's see. Laren he's like working with the army, right? He's doing stuff. Yeah, he's just kind of being all happy with his family.
Yeah, skipped over he heard the wind speak to him again.
Yeah,
Said you are what I need. So
yeah, and there's a storm coming. A storm is coming. So it's yeah. So bad stuff.
storm's coming, Annie.
Yeah, go to the go to the bondsmith. He's gonna go to Shinovar.
Did you catch
Yeah,
that
with-
reference, Chris?
I did. I did.
Justin's favorite movie.
One.
I mean, it's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't say which bondsmith to listen to. The wind. But yeah, he's he's gonna go meet with Dalinar, and he's gonna have to figure out how to like untraumatize a god, basically, which is gonna be fun. Um, yeah, he's like, I feel great. So Kaladin's happy, happy Kaladin.
Yeah, it was fun seeing him play with his little brother.
Yeah,
The Dung Spren story and the embarrassing stories were funny. Watching Kaladin blush as Syl was like, "Tell me more." Um, yeah, there are people that ship Kaladin and Syl together.
I hope she gets a body.
Justin.
Hey,
Hey, just saying. I mean, I shipped Wesley with him. I still think that could happen.
I'd be cool with that. I'm Marie.
yeah,
But I don't know if. I mean, I'm guessing we're gonna see them again. They're gonna do something, but not this part.
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I don't have much for this chapter. Um, the quote a set of shock sprints snapping into appearance around him like breaking yellow triangles. I thought that was a cool description. I just like see those like warning triangles and just like kind of like a the old Adam West Batman or maybe like a Metal Gear game where you like you get caught and the guards just go
Yeah. Little chevrons.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's nice. It's the Shire. It's Kaladin being there with his family, having a happy, good time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of Cal in this section, which is it's good. I mean, it's necessary for whatever he's gonna do in Shinovar.
Mhm.
But yeah, we can move on unless y'all got anything.
No,
All
chapter
right,
three.
we get chapter 3, the cost of heroism. Da da da. Shallan. This is Shallan. She's still chilling and lasting integrity. She's with Kaladin. I'm not Kaladin. Adolin and Kalik, the Herald. And they're chilling, and so we get a little bit more confirmation that we already knew this, but Radiant's still gonna be part of like separate from her, while Veil is um been reincorporated, which is interesting. So we get a little bit more Radiant. So Shalana is still somewhat insane, um, and she kind of has her memories, but they're still jumbled because, of course, they are. But she remembers Testament and killing her mom and all that stuff, but there's still more and probably more stuff about how she got the sprint in the first place and all that stuff, which is going to be, uh, revealed. Then we get her talking with Wit, um, and they're sending windrunners back to them to pick them up, uh, and they're he's helping Dalinar with the contest of champions, which is still very nebulous. We get a little information about Wit that he's really old. I think to get actual years, he's like 10,000. Yeah, he's 10,000
Yeah,
years old.
10,000 years old.
Um, and which do you have a date of when Adal Nauseam blew up? See, before or after that? I'm guessing after.
I don't have a date. He was there when, so he was there with 16 others, and the 16 others they killed the god, and they each took a piece of him. And Wit declined to take a piece, but from reading Wit's parts in the Stormlight, he entered a pact with all of them, which means that they can't directly interfere with each other.
Yeah.
But it's weird. There's certain stipulations where the pact breaks and they're allowed to. Um, Odium somehow has killed four of the other shard or shattered four or five of the other shards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So and we get a little bit more talk with Witties like, about the formless and like how she, she's a little bit worried because she's killed all of her other mentors. So watch out. Um, and then we get a little bit more that the Ghost Bloods want to Mishram, and they want to collect to get the information where he was or is. Uh, so then let's see, we eventually learn that he's in this trapped in the spiritual realm, the little jewel. So they're gonna have to go there, which is it's basically an interstellar world. So that will be fun. Um, yeah,
Test.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. There's some other stuff, but we can go over that if you need
uh,
to.
yeah, I like that. So Wit drew. Um, Wit is sending drawings of all of Mraize's crew to Shallan so that she has all this information. Um, what else did I liked Wit bringing this up to Shallan. This is something that's been echoed uh, a lot recently. It's like essentially it's like the capacity to do evil or become something terrible and choosing not to um, makes you. I think it actually echoes something that Jordan Peterson said, like the ability to do evil and choose not to is makes a good person, not necessarily the fact that you are completely unable to do that. Doesn't just necessarily bestow the virtue upon you of being a good person. Like if you're incapable, fully incapable of doing something terrible, it doesn't necessarily automatically make you a good person. But the fact that if you are able to, it doesn't mean you're not a good person, but it doesn't automatically mean that you are. But the fact if you are capable of doing something very terrible or evil and you choose not to, the choosing not to makes you a good person at that point. Which is what Wit tells Shallan because Shallan's like, I'm I'm scared of myself. Like I'm a bad person. I am very capable of doing this. He's like, well, did you do it? He's like, she said, no, but I have the capacity to do so. Um,
Mhm.
so, but Jordan Peterson is a very polarizing character. But
Yeah.
this is essentially what Wit said is essentially the same thing that Jordan Peterson said.
Which Cosmere book is he in?
Do I?
Which Cosmere book does he show up in?
Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, I'm
The
just curious.
12 Rules of Life?
Oh, okay. I think he's the Sunlit Man, right?
Sure.
I mean, if yeah, never mind. But yeah, she's still being all traumatized and stuff. Maybe she'll get over it one day, like Kaladin is.
We got Happy Boy Kaladin. Now we're gonna get like Single Mind Shallan.
Yeah, she'll just be a god basically. She's gonna create a new world probably. It's gonna be sweet. I mean, I guess if Shallan isn't actually now I'm thinking about it. Shallan is in Irithyru. Her hardlight illusions would have infinite storm tower light. So you could just make a bunch of people that are just like she's a god in Irithyru, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, she's coming back to Irithyru, which would be cool. Anyway, see, I
She
think
also does something very weird where she's like, I am Drahi. Oh, I can unlash this now. I'm like, what the hell?
yeah, Yeah, she's pretty crazy. In maybe a good way now. We shall see. She does have, well, we get to that later. Yeah.
Chapter
Chapter
4.
chapter 4, listening. So Cowden is an inner Therio, again, always. He is gonna go see Navani. Um, and her like bond is like very attractive to Sprin. That's kind of interesting. I guess it makes sense because like they're the melding of humans and Sprin. It's kind of the bond.
They're intoxicated by her.
Yeah. Ooh. So yeah, Syl runs off to go get drunk with Navani. Cowden is chilling outside Dallin's office and sees Wit. And Wit's like, hey, you should learn the flute, the thing I talked about in book 1. And Cowden's like, why? And he's like, I don't know. Here you go. I'm gonna teach you some stuff. He teaches him some stuff. He seems to be okay at it.
What
What
day?
does the
I
flute come
put
in?
down your bet. What day is it going to become very important that Calden knows the flute?
I'm gonna say day 10. It's gonna impact the finale.
Day 6.
Day 6. All right.
Oh, let's see. Justin says day 10. Chris says day 6. I am gonna go day 8.
Now, is this Price is Right rules?
No,
No,
if
we
we're
have to
wrong.
spot on.
Now, if
Yes.
it's not on your day, you're wrong.
All right. All right. So yeah, he's gonna do stuff with the magic flute. Um, and
Is he gonna say, I shall play you the song of my people?
he might. He'll say, "You hold it. I'll do the fingering."
Oh, I'll do the fingering.
Uh, Shout out to Alien Covenant, a terrible movie. Yeah. So yeah, we get some more Wit. And Calvin's like, "This is the last time I'll see you, isn't it?" It's all sad. He's like, "Maybe, but you'll not be here for whatever is to come. Dun dun dun. You must choose your path." Um, and
Your might.
choose your might. We get a little bit of stuff with the wind. Yes, if it's a god, he says it's old magic made by Adonauseum, which I guess is a god. Might as well be. So it's a thing. Yeah. Know what if? Yeah, I still don't really know what the win is, but man, that's what we're gonna find out. We're gonna find win and truth. Um, and then basically he chills, and then Downer comes in, and that's kind of end of it.
It does bring up the fact that the passions were derived from odium, which is, I know I mentioned that a while back, whenever somebody was talking, odium was mentioned, odium was of passion. And I think that was an Oathbringer. And I was like, man, the passions. Sounds a lot like odium. But of course, he's like, people don't really want you to remind them that they're following something of odium. It's like, oh yeah. So um
So I got a quick question to ask y'all.
Okay.
There's 3 bondsmiths, right?
Yeah,
And the going theory is the third one is going to be like the Night Mother or something like that, right?
that's what I think it was confirmed. That's what he was, but
yeah,
Is what it was.
the Night
Well,
Watcher.
the Night Watcher, yeah. So the whole thing is like that's the old magic. So the only time I've ever heard in like all the book series, like in Stormlight, when they refer to the old magic, they refer to the Night Watcher, which is, of cultivation and whatnot, but this is the next time when discussing the wind that someone brings up the old magic. Do you think the wind might be related to getting a new bondsmith?
maybe.
Could be.
Who would be the bondsmith? We kind
It's
of
gotta,
we've
it's
kind of
gotta
run out
be,
of people.
it's gotta be Rock.
Rock. I don't think we're gonna see Rock.
I don't
I
think
think
we're gonna see Rock.
I don't think we are either.
I think he saved him for the novella, which I think is a mistake because mm, honestly, none of the other Bridgeport people really mattered all that much, besides maybe Lupin. Like Sigil was like barely a character. Maybe it's gonna become and like Drahe and Scar and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, it's Drahe and Scar. They're cool, but like I think he now that Teft is dead, we're kind of missing the main characters of Bridge Four.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
we already have too many characters anyway. Well, it's interesting that they brought up the three bondsmiths and we've only had two. We've got them back to back to back. So if we get a third one, it would be this book, obviously. I don't know who it would be.
But like this is the only other time that the old magics was ever brought up. It's been brought up in reference to the Night Watcher, but it's never been brought up in any other reference to anything else until the wind,
Yeah.
right?
And we also know that all the references to the old magic we've actually seen has just been cultivation.
Well,
So
the
it's
big
not
three, but in the interludes they've had reference to the old magic that we're pretty sure is just like the Night Watch, like the dude that sees everything upside down and stuff like that.
yeah, but we don't know if that could just be hearsay. But I mean, yeah, then it could be the Night Watcher too. It's the old magic.
Yeah.
The dude that sees things upside down.
In
It was
one of
a-
the interludes, that was his thing. Like he got money, but he sees the world upside down.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot that. Huh.
Which that I mean that makes sense because the night we see in the Night Watcher with Dalinar that it she just gives like material possession stuff. So
Yeah.
Uh,
And then
yeah,
she does like a permanent little weird thing.
I
Yeah.
can't remember, Justin. Did you mention? So Wit name drops Sazed in this chapter as well.
no, yeah,
He specifically gets angry about people believing that poor people were poor because they didn't care enough about being rich and other things. Or like hungry people being hungry because they didn't care enough about getting food. Um, and you mentioned he learned if hope doesn't mean anything to you when you lose it, then it wasn't ever a virtue in the first place. He says he learned that from Sazed. He actually drops, he's like a man who lost all of his beliefs before realizing, or lost everything before realizing um, what he did or didn't believe, I think, is what Wit was saying.
yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
actually surprised to hear that Wit had never met Sazed.
I mean, he's like barely in Mistborn.
Who, Hoyd?
Yeah,
No.
So I know in book 2, he was up in Terrace doing stuff. And I don't know what he was doing.
yeah. He's like basically not a thing. He's like a beggar. He's like tells Kelsey like he's like a one thing in like book 1. I don't even remember if he's in book 3, but
He's in book 3.
He gets name dropped in book 3, but he doesn't appear on screen or on screen
yeah,
in book 3.
yeah, yeah. Well, so yeah, we get more Kaladin's. He's gonna go do his own thing. We can move on to chapter 5.
Now,
Sure.
we don't have to discuss it, but I just want to mention that. So, Syl recognizes the song of the Wandersail as being the rhythm that guided, and she recognizes. She goes, I know that was, and Wit's like, yeah, that was the song that guided humans across the Cosmere to Roshar, and then it became the tone of Roshar. So, nice little callback to the Wandersail story.
Yeah. All right. So we get chapter 5. What might still be. We get Shalon. Let's see. They're in lasting integrity. We get some We get basically there's only 12 Spren that want to like go bond Windrunners, um, which is not a lot. They're a little disappointed. Adolin is. Um, we get including Nodum, the honor sprint that got messed up and Adolin saved. He it turns out he's kind of afraid of bonding, so he doesn't want to actually do it. So he's like, hey, you should just stay behind and kind of maybe encourage other people to, do it instead. Because you don't want to be forced into a bond. Makes sense. Um let's see. She talks with Kalik. And she's like she does the whole like drawing and inspire like what he could be and stuff like that. He's like, oh, he's all cool. And she apparently like peers into the spiritual realm when she draws, and then that's her power. She uses fortune, whatever that means. And then we get kind of like this discussion of having two bonds, and it's could like you could like it's a little dangerous. You could like maybe lose yourself and stuff, which we've seen. She's gone insane. And then we also get more now of her drawings getting corrupted by another unmade, this time by Odo Mishram. Uh, and then like Trehi comes, he's like, "What's up? I'm here." And that's kind of it.
Oh, and then the very last thing is Adolin's like, how many of you will it take to fly my horse?
Take my boss.
Which is the funniest thing in this
Yeah.
chapter here. Yeah, Kalak admitted to his fear was like decisions. So he constantly suffers from analysis paralysis. This poor guy. I know how that is.
Yeah, he bought too many Steam games. You just can't pick one.
Yeah,
And like,
that's why
Now we're
I
looking
don't
at him play solitaire.
I don't play any Steam games. They just keep buying them.
a 4,000-year-old Steam account is gonna have a lot of games.
uh,
I want to bring up something real fast. I don't know how much about this chapter because it was just kind of like it was fun. It was transitioner. I just want to say something about the previous chapter real fast about Wit talking
Dalinar?
talking to
Kaladin?
Paladin. You got it. It was slightly chilling because whenever we all have that friend, the friend that's always grumpy or that's always in a really good mood, but they're always consistent in one thing. And when they do the opposite, it's unsettling. Like I had a friend who's really, really grumpy, and like I was freaking out about some stuff, and he was just like, it'll be okay, man. I'm like, this must be really bad if Mr. I see the downside and everything. It's like, no, it'll be okay. The same way like with Mr. Everything's almost a joke.
Yeah, it's
I,
the anime thing where like you have
yeah,
every good shonen anime has the happy-go-lucky guy that didn't
it
just
gets
go deadly
really serious
serious,
once, and you're just like,
and you know shit's gonna go down. Yeah,
"Ah."
yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there that was that moment of
I like that you
it's.
brought that up.
I just wanted to throw that out there real fast because yeah. But
So,
yeah, this chapter, the Shalom being like, all right, I guess the horse is not going to come with us. I'm counting everything. Hey, he's counting too. Why is he? Oh God, my horse, gentlemen. Like,
Is this a chapter where she's like
I will stay behind
where
if
she's
you get
like
my
people?
horse there.
It might be next chapter. I found it really weird where she's like, I think it's next chapter, so I'll get to it.
this chapter, do you think Nodum is going to go bond anybody, like a listener or a fused, or is he just gonna try to encourage others to go bond?
I don't know. I don't think this is the last time we see him. He
I
seems
don't think so either.
important enough to probably bond somebody.
Mm,
And
I'll put down he doesn't bond anyone.
But maybe he appears in the physical realm as with a body and they start fighting.
In fact, I put it down
He goes on your
that
left.
Notum is a character that they meet in the next arc who mentions having known Adolin and them before whatever happens in this book.
well,
So he's a
there's
bridge
only going to
character.
be a 10-year
All right.
jump.
Yeah.
You know what I think,
Hey, a
Chris?
lot of stuff can happen in 10
All right.
years.
All right.
Don't be a catechism.
I'm putting a prediction down. Notum, whoever Notum bonds is gonna save Shallan when she like future hops in the spiritual realm. She's gonna be like almost dying, and it's like a brilliant shard blade appeared, and it was Notum, and it's like, oh shit! But it's gonna be like 100 years in the future or something. If we're
Who-
going all,
Whoever Notum bonds is going to save Shallan, you said?
yeah, in like the spiritual realm when they're doing like time weird shit.
Okay.
I don't know.
So is he going to go in there first and be old when she gets there?
No, she's gonna like. So this is just what I think. She's gonna go in the spiritual realm and she's gonna be like hopping between timelines. That's how you can like have a bunch of shit happen in one day in 10 days. So she's gonna go like 100 years in the future and see like Odium's one all that stuff, and then she's gonna like jump as she's like trying to get to the prism of Bado Meshram. Probably not gonna be what happens, but that's my idea of what's gonna happen. Considering they said like time and space is weird
Yeah.
in the spiritual realm. And that would be a way to like bring him back, not actually have him be there.
And then last thing, Midius. Collect mentions the name Midius, and he's like, the one you know as Wit. So now we know Wit, Hoid, Cephadrius, and Midius are 4 names of the same person.
Gandalf.
Gandalf. Chapter 6.
Nobility. Kaladin. Kaladin meets with Dalinar. Dalinar's like, hey, good job not locking up battle shock people in darkness and leaving them to die. You did a good job with them. We should have thought about that maybe like once in the past like 300 years. But anyway, hey, you're gonna take Seth and go to Shinovar. He's like, are you sure? Seth is crazy and he's gonna kill everybody. He's like, yeah, but he's gonna do it anyway. He's like, okay, I'll do that. And then they go to the mountain. They go to a mountain. Like, look at Irithiru, pretty cool. And he's like, yeah. Guess what? I'm not gonna be here for whatever happens. That's what Wit said. And he's like, all right, well, you do your thing. It's probably gonna be important, hopefully. And oh yeah, and he's like, hey, you want to be king? And Kaladin's like, maybe, and
Probably not.
but probably. And
Uh,
that's kind of it.
okay,
I mean-
so
Gotta have something lined up.
yeah, well, he's got Kaladin lined up, and he says, "Hey, you think about this," but Kaladin leaves off on his journey, having still being thinking about it. But Dalinar is like, "All right, well, if you're not, then I'm gonna ask Dami or
Yeah,
Din-
random dude that has the fourth idea we've never heard of
Yeah,
before.
how do you? So I'm not sure how I feel about the third person to reach the fourth ideal being somebody we never met before and it happening off screen.
Yeah,
So
and technically the fourth because of Shallan, but we learn that later.
Yeah, well, she's not even sure when she's
That is
not
true.
sure if it happened whenever she
Yeah.
dealt with Vale or if it was when she was dealing with Abadai. So
So I do have an issue with the person getting the fourth, or this person that we don't know really anything about getting the fourth ideal. Not because it's someone we don't know a lot about, not because it happened off camera. It's In
Also he's gonna be king.
in
Yeah.
this story, Kaladin just got the fourth ideal like yesterday. And it was this huge thing, and and the getting those wind spirits that would protect him. Also, he was able to protect the tower and come back and help overthrow it. And it was this huge, it was like, oh my God, this person got the fourth ideal and look at what they can do and look how powerful it is. But also today, this other person also got it, but he's not really doing anything with it, but he got it also.
Did
Like,
he-
it's the fact that it's yesterday Kaladin just got his. Like if it was something like there was like when there was a in from book 3 to 4, how there was a time jump, and now it's like, oh
Yeah.
look, there's just buttloads of radiance now of all the different ores. It's like that's cool. That makes sense. It's a time frame. They all get, oh, Yasna's fourth level now, or the fourth ideal now. Yeah, that makes sense. She's really awesome. We didn't need to see that happen. Like, but it's just the fact that it was yesterday Kaladin just got it. The
Yeah.
timing makes it just feel like, okay, I guess it's not that big a deal that Kaladin has a fourth ideal now. I'm glad
Yeah.
that fourth book was 108 billion pages.
So Justin,
Yeah.
Aladar is his third choice. So if Aladar does, then that means May Aladar is going
He's
to
in
be
line for the throne.
scared.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it might
Because
come
it's
true.
like day
Confirmed.
10, book it. My Aladar's queen.
Right.
May Aladar, Queen of Urithiru in book
I mean, I know you
7.
didn't want to spoil, but she is one of the flashbacks in the next 5 books. Yeah, it is.
Book 7, she becomes Queen of Urithiru.
It is weird because you could have done like, though it would be hilarious. It was like, yeah, and if you don't do it, then Lift is gonna be Queen, which I want Queen Lift of Urithiru. Um, yeah. So, do y'all think he becomes Dalinar's heir?
Yeah.
Think so?
So
No,
I
no,
want I
no,
want to
no, no.
say yes, but also why mention all the others in line?
I
Like
mean,
Aladar and Sabarial. Like I could see Sabarial becoming. That would be like crazy.
I know who it'll be.
no one had a better story than Sabarial. Who,
Who
Chris?
is on his way to the fifth idea where he becomes the law?
Syl.
Is it the Knight of Truth?
Ugh, I would hate that. That would be the worst.
That's what he gets. Hey, Justin,
King
that's his
Seth of Urithiru.
reward. That's his reward at the end of his redemption arc.
Yeah. Ugh. I hate you, Chris.
Just like Zuko, he's perfectly redeemed.
I mean, I guess he might be a prince. Um, yeah,
And think about it. The first time we saw Urithiru, who was on top of Urithiru?
yeah,
He
true.
was perched up there. It was the first time we ever saw the tower.
Yeah,
He already owns that tower. He's now going to become king of it once he becomes a law.
true. I am the law. Yes. So he morphs into Sylvester Stallone. I am the law.
I am the law.
Just thinking
Uh,
about stuff. You know what I thought was gonna be a much bigger deal? The Dustbringers like being evil or something. They've done nothing in these books. I really thought that was gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
Mila, whatever her name was. Like,
What was her name?
but like, I don't even think they are they still there? Because they mentioned this storm, whatever, nails people fighting. I don't think they've even mentioned the Dustbringers. That just popped in my head when I was thinking of other like threads. So do you think the Dustbringers show up in these books? I hope so.
Lotta was her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll show up.
She's in Yakaved.
She
Does
Yeah.
she like he made all of those people Taravangi made all the people leave him and basically disenfranchise themselves from him.
Yeah. Well, there's like a whole thing of like how there's those Sprins like hated the humans for the recreants and stuff. It was like sounded really cool. Like that has gone nowhere. It's just a thread I just randomly remembered. So I hope that comes into play. But yeah, I think he probably becomes king. It's gonna be the whole like the person who didn't want the job is the best one for the job kind of way of king. It ties back to the way of kings type of thing.
So
Um,
you think he survives this book?
yeah, probably.
You think Kaladin survives this book, Chris?
Yeah, but I don't think he becomes heir. I actually
He
think
becomes the wind,
I
not
think
the
it
air.
is Sun Vallada. I really think that's gonna happen, Justin.
He's
Okay.
not mentioned. All right, I'm putting this down. Theory. Chris thinks Seth becomes king of Uruk.
I think it's gonna be Dami, and he's gonna be the main character of the next arc.
All right,
All right.
chapter 7.
Lost Blades. Shalon. All right. So they're fixing to leave. They're gonna bring the horse. Uh, or Gallant, the Roshadium, um, the Radiant horse. Um. So yeah. The Deadeyes are dispersing. They were gathered. They're dispersing back to their owners.
He also brings all of his swords,
Yep.
but he's like, I only brought half of my clothes.
Yeah. He's very he's very practical. Um. Yeah, so I'll get to that later. But so they're leaving a bunch of people. Vatha, who seems to be kind of just like chill. He's like, "Yeah, I'm down for kind of nothing happening." And he seems to have a crush for Ishna. So ooh.
Who's a goth girl now?
Yeah. She always kind of was ish. Um
And not to the point where she's like light weaving black fingernails and
yeah.
tattoos and rings on her.
I guess I guess seeing a bunch of ink spread got her into the mood.
There you
Um,
go.
yeah. Uh, yeah, so they're gonna go back. We're gonna never see them again, probably this book. Uh, so then this weird thing where she's like, we're gonna leave some like diplomats and stuff behind, and they're gonna be led by this guy Felt, who I'm pretty sure is from another world, and you know, maybe like the Ghost Bloods are from another world and I should like talk to this dude, but oh well, it was very weird. It's like, yeah, that guy's from another planet. Bye. Even though I'm like actively at war with the Ghost Bloods, I'm just not gonna do anything about it. It was very strange. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Do y'all understand it?
Yeah.
No.
Like if she didn't clock it, I would be like fine. But she's like, yeah, that dude's from another world. Bye. Or if like later she like broke up with the Ghost Bloods, and then she's like, "Oh shit, there was a guy from another planet back there. I should warn them or something." But no, she's like, "All right, peace out." Um, then
Watch out for people that will betray you. Like that guy. That guy looks like he'll betray you.
yeah.
All right, bye.
Hi.
Like,
Yeah. Then she gets a little hint that she can like hard light cast, which is gonna be cool, and we're gonna see that later. Um, because light is an investiture, and investiture can be physical, and she's like, "Oh, cool, I can do hard light." Um, which is cool. She gives the hair a little hug. Oh, very cute.
And all the Spren are like, oh my God, you're doing that?
Yeah. Then they fly away, and they're like, "All right, cool." And then Gowan and Adolin are having a grand old time, and oh no, everything was good until they were attacked. Dun dun dun.
Dude, this quote. Adolin was grinning like a boy playing in the rain, and Gallant galloped eagerly, wind blowing his lips back to expose his teeth, making him look like he was grinning. Adolin Kholin, High Prince, son of the most powerful man on the planet, renowned swordsman, was secretly one of the goofiest people she'd ever known. Shallan emerged again and blinked, taking a memory of the two of them. Adolin with his goggles on, hair blowing about frantically, gallant charging.
But yeah.
He could
Somehow,
totally be in the Old Spice commercial.
Yeah, he's too old, but Fabio could have played him.
But
I love me some Adolin.
Yeah, he's
The last few books, it went from being like, I always liked Adolin, he was fine, but it went from being like, oh, he's kind of all right to like, oh man,
yeah,
when
he's
something bad happens to him, I'm gonna feel so bad.
he's probably a top 3 character for me.
Is he gonna live through the books? Through
I
this
think
book?
s- I think
yeah, I
so.
think so.
Sanderson doesn't strike me as a guy that kills. I mean, we've seen this. He doesn't kill a lot of people. He's killed like 2. He's killed Elhokar and Eshonai, and that's it. And I guess Rabonio, who does
Gavilar.
yeah, but actual characters.
Gavilar has died. We've read it 5 times.
Yeah,
What about Evie? Evie is definitely dead.
but she wasn't like an actual character.
Hef.
Okay, Tef, but he's
Hey, Justin, will you go say that to Dalinar's face?
yes,
That Evie was not an actual character?
she wasn't.
You're gonna say that to Dalinar's face.
He was a plot device, and she
Your
was
wife is a plot device. Sorry, your dead wife that you killed is just a plot device.
yeah.
By the way, tonight
It
you
was
need to
there. It
follow
was
the
there for you.
Kings.
It was there for you to not become ODM's champion. No, I mean, but like Teft is like the only named good guy and he gets Elhokar that have actually like died. So I don't see. I could see like one of the main characters. Like I could see Gavilar dying, not Gavilar, Dalinar dying. I could see Renarin dying as like a
I could see Adolin dying.
I could see Yasna dying.
yeah. I mean, she's already had some death flag. I could see a big one. I don't know if this is already proven false because of. I could see Wit dying. Might have already been proven false with other books, but like he's always talked about if Odium catches me, I'm dead, and it's like you speak. His death flags were flying. If this was not if this was just a series, his death flags were flying pretty high in that Kaladin section.
Either that or Kaladin's death.
True,
Yeah.
but like if he wanted to make a big statement, it would be killing off Wit. His like one world hopper throughout all the books, and he was like, "Oh shit, this is where Wit dies." It would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I foresee probably at least one main character death.
Yeah.
I don't think
That's
it's
fair.
Aelin though.
I don't think it's Adolin. By the way, you completely skipped over the whole reason this chapter is titled The Lost Blades. Which they were watching the Dead Eyes returning to like where their Shardbearer is, and like a lot of them just wander into the surf.
Oh yeah.
And Maya's like, no, those are the lost blades, the blades that were never recovered, the lost in the ocean or stone, and they just end up wandering Shadesmar forever.
No, they eventually disappear. They just die. The not they don't die. The shard blade itself goes away, which is cool because people forget about them and since they're just ideas, they disappear, which is really cool. So they're just in Shadesmar as like walking ghosts.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
No, I rephrased it badly, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean they're all gonna come back when they free Ba'udu Mishram, which is gonna be fun. We got anything else?
No, we can Move on to chapter 8, A Coming Storm. It comes after Kaladin blows.
Yep, it's true. He's Seth might help him with the fingering of the flute.
Yes.
Wahaha.
Seth, can
Um,
you finger while I blow?
I you have to. I have your oath stone.
I have your oath stone. You have to obey me. Finger while I blow.
we'll do it, Anakin. I have the oath stone.
At that
Do
point,
it.
Seth speaks the fifth idea. It's like, bitch, I'm the law. I don't have to
I
listen
am
to
an
you.
oath stone.
I am the oath stone.
You finger and blow for
Dun, dun, dun.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. So Scout and Seth are just chilling. They're waiting for the high storm so they can fly to Shinovar. They're gonna stop by. Well, I don't know if they know that yet. But they're chilling. We get a little bit of Nightblood, and Lift has been talking with them some more because he wants snacks.
So the whole thing, so the high storm has already passed Theory. It passed yesterday.
Yeah, they're gonna.
And so they're gonna take the Oath Gate to Azimir to catch the high storm there,
Yeah,
which Azimir is already very close to Shinovar, so it's actually not that far of a travel.
yeah.
After
He picks up some stuff. He picks up his magic horse, his flute, magic flute. He has a bunch of magical items, and he has like three uniforms because he always messes them up, which is fun. Let's see. We get Dabbit. He's got a sprint. Yay! He's gonna be healed, and he's gonna be a Knight's Radiant. Cool.
and
He has
more importantly, it's not just Aspirin, it's Lucentia,
yeah, which is
who
the
Shallan thought was gonna go with the other honor sprint, but wasn't there.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
did you skip over Nightblood
Which is
asking? It's snacks. There's gonna be snacks.
Yeah, I guess that.
pancakes?
Yeah.
Cakes.
What you need is pancakes.
I leave the color to y'all. I can't just go into everything. That's why y'all are here.
Oh, by the way,
Pancakes.
after I read it, I listened to the audiobook for the whole portion. Uh, and I love Nightblood talking.
Yeah, I mean they're
It must be pancakes.
Kate Redding and oh my god, Michael Kramer. They're really good.
Yeah, they are good.
They are the
I think they do a better job with Stormlight books and Cosmere books than they did with Wheel of Time.
I think they're really good in Wheel Time too.
I thought I haven't listened to the Wheel of Time in a while, but I just feel like they were more just less variety between the different characters' voices they had.
Maybe. I mean it makes sense. They recorded this like 20 years ago, so they probably figured out better methods. But like the he has some good stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in the final book with like some of the land stuff is really cool. Won't spoil that for anybody doing Wheel of Time. Yeah, so he's like, wow, he has Dabbit hasn't noticed the sprint yet, so yay, congratulations for him. He's gonna get a little guy. And he's still hearing like the wind talking to him and stuff. And then he's gonna go talk to Sigil and say goodbye because they're having a memorial for Taft, right? Is that what it is? Yes.
They're having a party for
Party
Verlaine.
for Verlaine.
Verlaine, yes. But he goes and sees
Yeah.
Taft. Yeah.
I do, before we move on to Shallan, I also thought it was funny. Syl was like, "This isn't fair. Why did the bond come so easily to all these other Spren? Why are they so smart so quickly?" And Leighton's like, "Well, they had some really important Spren to pioneer the way for them." And kissing up to Syl, she just like ate it up. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're right."
It's probably because the like the Everstorm stuff happened, and, like weaken the realms, right? Basically,
Probably, yeah.
they're like the Herald, like the damnation, whatever. The damn not the damnation. Desolations started back up. But yeah, that's what I'm guessing for the actual reason. Then we get Shallan. They're getting attacked by heavenly ones. They are fighting. Adon is like a sitting duck. He's like throwing weapons. Then he gets like knocked off. Is glad he's caught because he would be super dead. And then she's able to do the thing that you talked about earlier, which is like become Drahe and like cut the lashing, and she falls after. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting, just that it feels like she's able to steal their identity with capital I, which allows her to take control of their investiture. Because I don't know if we've gotten it in Stormlight, but there's so in Mistborn we know that people's copper mines and everything, like they they're attached to an identity.
Yeah.
So like Tyndall isn't able to pull stuff out of Sazed's copper mine. It's specific to those
Yeah.
certain people. So I wonder if in oh, I mean, I'm guessing the bonds between people in their sprint are specific there, and so it's her taking.
I'm guessing it's because she can access the spiritual realm. That's how she's able to do it. Probably.
Maybe. I mean,
With
that's a good
fortune.
theory, and or you know, copying their identity is
Yeah.
another interesting theory.
Yeah, they both were. Kind of the same thing. It's just like how they're able to do it. If it's like or part of her substantiation, or if it's like her use of fortune. But yeah, it's cool. We shall see more probably. You got anything, Chris?
Not on this section. No, just more fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 9.
Chapter 9, Tossing Spears.
I love this one.
Yeah. So Caldon's he's gonna let's see, what does he do? Oh yeah, he goes talk to Scar. As he's talking with Scar, he's like covertly magicking. There's recruits of so he's talking with Scar. Scar's with a bunch of recruits, and he's like tossing the spears out a window to make them realize that they need to like always have their weapons ready because shit can go down at any time. And this is where we get that there's a celebration happening for Rolaine, and yeah, and then we we get Syl, and she's like, "Hey, I got things you gotta pick up for me because I got stuff. I gotta write a book."
Yeah.
Yep, it's cool.
I'm like, this is still to me, like all the Kaladin stuff is still like the Shire stuff to me. It's still this is the feel good part, you know?
Yeah,
It's all, I mean, there might be some seriousness in there, but it's smiles. It's the sergeant messing with the new recruits, but it's lighthearted and it's for a good reason. It's still expanding her limits. It's Kaladin being able to have a smile at a bittersweet memory of Tef looking at the statue. You know, it's feel good, happy stuff before I'm assuming we get Sad Boy Kaladin again soon.
yeah. When he's like,
You're welcome.
"Seth, why did you kill everyone in Shinovar? I shouldn't
You
have. I
just
shouldn't have brought you."
murdered them. You didn't even talk to them, man. You just walked there and started slaughtering. You didn't even use a weapon. You just ripped them.
I mean, I did that to the pursuer, but you shouldn't do that to anybody else.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah,
I just want to say when I look at your face, and kind of just blur everything else around, the little thing on your wall, it looks like a face with really thick eyebrows and a mustache.
Oh, that
Yes.
plane? Yeah. Wait. What about right now? Does it look like I'm wearing a little green hat?
Go a little bit more. Yeah, there you
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. Now just stay that way for the
Top of
entire.
the morning. Hmm.
Justin, your pictures are crooked.
Yes, it happens.
Does your cat do it?
Probably. I'm so used to living next to a train track that I never straighten them because my parents' house is next to a train track, so they would always just go crooked anyway. So
Hmm.
I just kind of I don't even really see it anymore because it's just like yeah. So yeah, I should probably fix it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I don't live next to a train track, so I should fix it. Um, yeah, we got Happy Boy Kaladin. Um, all right, what day do you think Kaladin becomes sad?
3.
I'm going four, day four.
It's gonna be the first half though.
Yeah, it's gotta be a fourth half. What if he
I don't
never?
I don't think he gets sad this
Oh, you
book.
don't think he gets sad? Okay.
No, I don't.
No, sad
All right.
boy.
All right.
That's
That's the real one right there. No sad boy Kaladin, Brandon feels.
theory. Paladin gets sad. Justin, day three,
Four. Four.
four.
I'll actually go with Justin too on this. I like 4.
Okay.
All
Yes.
right.
Because
Justin and Chris, day four.
it gives him time to get to Shinovar and do stuff, and then like bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
For like the first little half of the book.
No sadness for Brandon.
No sadness. I
No
mean,
sadness.
I would like that. Um, so then we go to Sad Boy Kaladin to Shallan getting attacked. She's falling down in the ocean. Um, she falls into the beads. Kaladin, yeah, Kaladin. Adolin has been saved by Drahi, so he didn't crash into the beads and die because he's a human, which is good. They dropped off all the Spren into the ocean because they don't need to breathe, which is funny. Um,
Hide there.
Yep, they're fighting. It seems like whatever truce was in that Leshui had done is now broken since they're traitors, so they're just trying to murder everybody. Um, so that's fun. Then Shallan fights with Abadi, the monarch. Sure. She's very much was it
Sure.
Elizabeth oh my God. You know what I'm talking about, Chris. The famous medieval woman that bathes in the blood of virgins to stay young.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much that because she bathes in the bloods of radiance to stay stain. Um,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah, it's like Elizabeth Bafferty or something like that, something like that. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, then she's like fighting with Shallan, and Shallan like creates Radiant, and Radiant's able to stab her with the short blade.
Battery.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we get some hard light, and she says, reality is what I decided to be, which is pretty scary. Because
It
once again,
is.
Shallan is insane.
She's a badass.
She's pretty cool.
I made a note here. It said humor has returned to this book, which was lacking in book four, as Justin said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get more humor in the next chapter. But let's see. Yeah, so I wrote down, I think she said, I think the fourth ideal was in this fight with Abadai. She says, I'm afraid of everything, terrified of the world, of what might happen to my family, most of all, myself. I always have been. I feel like that's because I don't remember her like actually. I remember her talking with Vale and having a freak out, but not really like, here's a statement.
Yeah.
So Um,
it's a little weird because like when Kaladin did it, he became Super Saiyan, and nothing really happened when she did it. So maybe it's because she's a spy class.
or it, I mean, she's in Shadesmar too, so
True. I wonder
which
what
once
happened
she
when.
gets out of Shadesmar, then her creation spren are the what make up her armor, which I really like. I like the concept of different types of spren do the armor as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
I wonder what happened when our collective boy Dami said his fourth ideal.
I was gonna go with Yasnux. What would Yasnux be?
And she's not nearly as important as Dami.
I mean, Dami is in the royal line.
Yeah, he's also from Scadrial. It's really crazy. Have you gotten to him in no, he's in Arrow 2.
Who?
No.
I'm messing with you. Dami,
Oh,
the very important guy. It's gonna become king of Erethiru. It's gonna be really cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guy.
But yeah. Now Shallan is even more powerful. Uh, we good?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Like
Yes.
I'm enjoying what's funny is I actually kind of did what Brandon did. Like I read it and then when I got done reading, like after I actually re-listened to the book on audiobook, like on, like one half speed just to quickly get through it. Just the first day. And the fighting part to me, I'm just kind of like, all right, in the last few books, I'm enjoying the combat, but I'm also like, okay, I want to talk about the stuff that's not the fights, you
I will
know?
say this combat in particular was a little confusing with like
Yeah,
them in the water and then making shit, and it's all kind of strange.
yeah,
So it was not the most clear combat for me, but it still ended with a cool, like. But also, it's the same trouble I've been saying is like you're fighting an enemy for the most part until they mass produce stuff. They can't kill, and then basically our people are functionally immortals. So it's like two immortals fighting each other, which gets a little tiring after a while until they mass produce the weapons that they made last book. Because he smartly recognized that and made things to actually up the stakes in these books.
um,
But we can move on to book 10. We go to
Chapter
a
10.
yes, same thing. Book
and Justin
quartermaster.
already has it from the future. He went in
Yeah,
the spiritual realm and got book 10. He's
yeah.
about to spoil the whole Stormlight series for
That's
everybody.
that's how I know about Dammy. He's
Who are
really
the
important.
who are the two who's the big bad and the big good at the end of book 10, Justin?
Both of them are Dami.
No, the big good is it's very strange. It's actually
Yeah,
cool.
Alanar.
It's May Aladar. She's the big good. She actually gets so spoilers, sorry for this book. She actually gets the shard of odium at the end of this book, but she is such a cool character. She purifies it and becomes passion instead of odium. So she gets the shard of passion instead of odium. And then the big bad is Sazed because he gets really drunk on power. He invades from Scadrial, and we get Mistborn, the Radiant fights, and it's really cool.
Wait, who is
If
Dami's
any of
campaign
that,
for?
if any of that ends up being true, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
If Sazed becomes the big bad, I'm going to be proud of you, I guess. I mean, you
and
will forever be able to be like, I called it, y'all.
yeah. I mean, he's not, but maybe be funny. Yeah. So, chapter 10, book quartermaster. So Syl and Kaladin are gonna go and find a book quartermaster. And yeah, because Kaladin doesn't know words. But yeah, she has ordered some stuff. I don't know what money she paid with it, but maybe I guess she just said put it on Kaladin's tab, which is a little dangerous for Kaladin's financial status. Um, but she gets the Way of Kings. So he has a copy of the Way of Kings. So she can read it to him. And he can be like, all right, Downer, this was kind of boring, but okay, cool. All right. Cool. She also gets writing utensils that are like lightweight enough for her to be able to write and some paper. So she can now become his actual scribe. Yay! Huzzah. She Kaladin also like
It's
talks.
quill pens. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Kaladin also is like, hey, you are shit, because this clerk is like being real snobby because still like writes something and she's like, that's not very good. And he's like, shut up. Why are you such a bitch? Like you should this sprint is like bettering herself and you should do that too. She's like, okay, yeah, that was my bad. Just kind of,
Yeah, I mean that's what happens.
yeah,
He sort of calls her out, but he does it. It's funny, like at first it's like, oh, I was gonna be mean to her, but I'm not gonna be mean to her. But then you're like, no, you're still mean to her, just in a different way.
yeah. Then we get a
You don't
very
say anything wrong, but you're
yeah, then we get a very amusing scene where Syl says that for her lady part she made a troll head because people like to cover it, and what was more ugly than a troll head? And that was very funny. And she sometimes feeds it grass. I'm guessing she steals it from Risen. That's the only place that has grass. It might be a typo. Might have found a thing. Anyway, and then
From
we get
Shinovar, not or
yeah, but
Risen gives it to her.
well, no, because as far as I know, grass is only in Shinovar, and Risen has that one pot of grass. So
Oh yeah, she does.
yeah, because grass does not exist on the
Oh.
rest of Russia. So which is kind of funny. Anyway, then we get like, this is also where we get the discussion of like, what are your clothes? Is your clothes skin? And she's like, oh, do you want to see Kaladin? And Kaladin's like, no. And she's like, and day 7, when I get a physical body, you're gonna need, we're
Show
gonna have
you
a
what's
bunch,
under here.
we're gonna have a bunch of fan fiction. The fan fiction writers were very happy about this chapter. We'll say. Not that I would ever
oh
read
God,
anything.
there's gonna be
There's so much fan fiction probably from this chapter. Yeah, and then they kind of leave. It's a fun chapter, like you said.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that chapter. I think I laughed out loud.
Yeah. But yeah, the most important plot element is she has the writing utensils. She can now write. So Kaladin doesn't need a wife because he already has a wife. Even more hints, foreshadowing.
You think Kaladin actually learns how to read?
Not in this book because it's only 10 days long.
I mean, he's gonna learn to play the flute
Yeah, he's gonna
in
spoil
6 days.
in 6 days.
Have you ever listened to kids try to learn to play the flute?
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a kid with one of those recorders, and it was not pretty. Of course, I just like to blow as loud as I could and annoy everyone. Yeah.
Chapter 11?
Chapter 11. We got some
Chapter 11.
music sprint. We were still fighting. This we're like she's fighting the thing. We learn that that's called what substantiation, and she's like, that's forbidden. You're forbidden for doing that, and like runs away. Kind of end of the fight, kind of. They're like, there's some stuff. They eventually end up getting to an island. Yeah, there's a little bit more fighting, but basically it's over. Then we see oh yeah, we get an interesting thing with the compass and like how you can just set the degrees and you can just kind of float. That's how they find the horse. It's very interesting, kind of like in 40K the light of the emperor kind of just beacon. Anyway, they get to like an island and they see Gallant with a herd of music spren, which are the horse spren we saw the dude riding, and we now know that Rashadiums are also bonded to a music spren, so they're like kind of radiant. And also, I'm pretty sure Adolin meets the spren that was in Surefire and was very cute. Yes, I'm pretty sure. 'Cause there's
Yeah.
there's one music spren that like, goes up to Adolin and like seems to know him and then runs away. I'm pretty sure that's Surefire's spren.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Like if it's anything else, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck then? I was pretty sure that was like
Yeah.
hands down that has to be
I
what
missed I missed any connection. I remember him saying he or Shallan thinking he looked like he recognized it.
Yeah.
Um,
We also get like a thing where like there's like an invasion force going to Azamar basically,
Mm-hmm.
and then that they ran into a kind of a scouting party. That's what. So that's that.
so whenever Shallan was trying to make the room float up to the surface, a face appeared in the wall, which was the face of Baido, and she spoke to her, saying, I will kill you, I will burn everything you love, I will exact vengeance in a river of blood. I will rampage across this world until not a single human remains drawing breath. Betrayers, thieves, monsters. I will send you back to the flames from whence you. And then Aelin stabbed it and it collapsed.
Yeah, that was creepy. So we're gonna have two.
A little angry.
A little angry. We're gonna have two therapy sessions. One against for two gods. So that'll be fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
You talked about the compass, but it points to something the sibling called the Grand Knell, which is the source of the current, the death of a god. You think this is the same place that they call the origin?
I mean it makes sense.
It I think it maps up with. I think it would map up with the origin. Um,
It's yeah, we haven't really gotten much about the origin, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if we're gonna get more of this book. And maybe
I wonder if that's where Odium shattered honor.
The origin. I mean, something happened there.
yeah.
Big like that. Like a god got killed or someone got
Well, that's literally the quote here:
something.
"The death of a god."
So yeah, that's what I'm
But,
saying. Like it has
but,
to be that. I
but
mean,
I,
a death of a god could be something getting killed. It could be multiple things being broken into smaller shards. Who knows, you
Yeah,
know?
because like
But
the Stormfather existed before Honor died, and
yeah,
he comes from the origin. Or the High Storm comes from the origin. So maybe it's like where the gods crashed into Roshar, and like so that would be like the death of Adol Nauseam came down and like blew up, and then they got collected by the other guy. I don't know. It could be where Honor died too. It could also be where all that. I wonder if that random guy that was like, "Hey, remember that army that's gonna come from the origin?" I wonder if that's ever gonna happen. I'm gonna bring it up every time because it was such a random. God, the heroes are kind of dumb. Some of them are.
so I just looked up the definition of the word knell, which is the sound of a bell, especially when rung solemnly for a death or funeral. So, huh.
Yeah, be cool. Maybe we'll
Maybe that's where the tone of Roshar originates from.
I can see that. Maybe like man, maybe we'll do something. Hopefully we'll get more of that. But yeah, so there's a giant invasion force poised for Azamar. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm writing this down. I that the tone of Roshar originates from the Grand Knell, and that is maps
To the origin.
to the origin.
Yeah, makes sense. Chapter
Yeah.
12, Beyond the Brands. This is a really good chapter. Cowden is he attends the Bridge Force celebration for Relaine. Um he you know talks with Relaine, who is a little weirded out that he's a truth watcher, not a windrunner. But he's like, hey, we're Bridge 4, we're beyond the orders, those are ancient, so who really cares? He gives Paladin gives a speech basically saying he's proud of everybody, but he has to like leave basically. And he's not gonna be there with them for what's to come, but he expects that they can handle it. Like he's done what he could. He trained them up and now they're ready to run. Um it was very good. He gives them order not to die. We'll see how many actually do that. Um, and then he gets his tattoo, and it's cool. Uh, then he talks with Sigzil, and he's like, Sigzil, you're very underdeveloped, but you're pretty cool, and you seem like a good commander. And Sigzil's like, all right, I guess I'll be all right. And we have some fun banter with Lopin and Scar and all that stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm very happy, my friends. Nothing bad's gonna happen in this book. And then he's like, all right, peace out. And he leaves for Azamar.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love
Like
it.
I said, this is more Shire stuff to me. Just feel good, happy. I love it.
Yeah. This is Seth was like, I hunger for something. And Nightblood's like,
I-
pancakes? Like, no. He goes, oh, metaphorical hunger.
Mm.
But you could still get pancakes.
Yes. But yeah, geez.
I would
Nightblood.
love, imagine like if just Lift ended up getting Nightblood. And it's just like, I'm never gonna pull you out and use you as a weapon, but sure, you can travel with me. Like, imagine that, but like 50 years later, someone else gets Nightblood after Nightblood spending 50 years with Lift.
No, Lift
That thing will
would
be so messed up.
Nightblood would never be sheathed, but Lift would never stop eating.
I don't know. Lift doesn't use a weapon. That's the thing. She doesn't.
But in order for her to keep herself alive, she would have to keep
I
eating.
know. If she unsheathed them, that's what I was saying. Like, she'll never unsheath them.
I don't know. Lift is growing up. She might want to start murking people.
Fair
Would
enough.
would Nightblood allow Lift to use him to cut pancakes?
I mean, wouldn't the pancakes
Are
just
they evil?
disintegrate?
Wait, what?
Wouldn't the
Are
pancakes?
they evil?
I mean, yes, they're
I
pancakes.
mean, we don't know. We'd have to find out. He'd have to stab them to find out. So he'd probably want to try and see. He'd
What were
probably
you
try to
saying,
take.
Dustin? Sorry.
He'd be like, let me see if I can taste them. Cut the pancakes with me.
Mine was a
My
more.
soul.
Yeah, that was just being more serious to say they would probably just explode, right? Disintegrate, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause he seems to just blow stuff up. I would like that. That would be a good end for Nightblood, and maybe give Lift a reason to exist if she ends up with Nightblood. Because right now, Lift is kind of pointless. She's a really good character, but he's given her nothing to do. She's in the next day, so I really hope she does something because I like her a lot. But her ending up with Nightblood would be cool. But
I
yeah,
would like it. I'm not putting it down as a theory yet, but I like it.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens in the next day and day two, it might be a theory.
there you go. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Oh, did you catch that Lopin did a one arm Bridge 4 salute,
Yeah,
Mhm.
even though he has two arms?
yeah.
I did like he said, I will be there for any task that requires two arms, one arms, or no arms.
Yeah, we get a little mention of his cousin that we met more in
Wheel.
Oh my God, Dawn Shard. Do you okay? Here's a prediction I want to ask. Do you think the Dawn Shard is used this book?
I think it has to be.
I think it has to be too.
Now when? How early or late?
That sounds like a day 10 thing. That sounds like an end of the book.
When will they first bring up using the Dawn Shard?
I would say I think it's gonna happen in Shinovar with Seth and Kaladin. I think Rizen's gonna end up in Shinovar with Seth and Kaladin.
I can see that shit.
And so I would say day 4 is when it's first mentioned, but not used.
I'm feeling like that. Like day four it gets brought up. The idea doesn't get used till the end, but
Or it
I'm
gets
with you on that.
I think it's brought up in a interlude, not in a chapter.
What if one of the next day the epigraphs are talking about the supposed powers of the Dawn Shard?
The weird thing is I almost don't think it gets used this book. Because it
Is
hasn't
that
been
your theory?
what?
Are you gonna go with that theory?
No, it's just kind of a thought I've had. Because like it hasn't been brought up at all. So unless like if like I'll revise if Risen is an actual character in one of
Now
these
it she told Stem about it in an interlude.
Yeah, but that's
Before.
like so minute. Like if I mean I guess you kind of have to read whatchamacalls it Dawn Shard for you to do it, but like it needs to be brought up more for it to be like a main plot point. So if I can see it being used if Risen becomes like a POV character in one of these days, which I hope she is. I hope this book is bringing a lot of the interlude characters that have been kind of floating around into the main plot. Be cool
Mhm.
because I think Risen's also a cool enough character to be in the main book. But yeah.
Chapter
Chapter
13.
13, Promise. We get some the same people we have. Let's see.
Lies.
Yes.
Juicy lies.
We get Shallan. They're at the Oath Gate to Azamar. They have been corrupted. So they are free now with Shanat. So basically they're gonna trans transport basically anybody. They're gonna transport the singers. They have a little conversation about trying to convince them to transport them, but basically it ends up where they're gonna just transport them, and they're also gonna transport the singer army. So we get some bad news, and we're gonna have a little battle. This is also where she starts finding the creation spren that can just so we learn that she has the fourth ideal. Get this we get this book. She's able they go back into the real world. She gets her shard plate. We get some her fiddling with it, transforming it, getting her hair all right and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Shard plate is awesome. Um Radiant wants to cut off her hair and Shallan and then light weave it back. But Shallan's like, no, we're not gonna do that. Which is kind of funny. Um then so the High Storm comes, they meet up with Kaladin. They have a really cool little reunion where they're like, hey, we're gonna get drunk again, and we're definitely not gonna die, right? And like, yes, we're definitely not gonna die. Um, and
This is my last day before retirement. We'll be fine.
yeah, nothing's gonna happen. Um, yeah. So yeah, so nothing bad's gonna happen. They're gonna go back to Irithiru and talk with Dalinar about the impending invasion, how bad it's gonna be. Um, so they get a nice send off with Kaladin. I'm guessing probably until somewhat to the very end. This is their last meeting. We're either gonna get this drink scene in the epilogue, which would be cool, or like um maybe a little sooner. Then she summons her Shardblade to go back to Irithyru and his testament, which is cool. So she has two Shardblades. She starts thinking of ways to use them. Um, she asked Adolin about two Shardblade forms, and he says it's very impractical. But she starts thinking of maybe a sword and board, where she can have like uh, so that would be cool. She can sword and board.
Just almost like the Joan of Arc character.
Yeah, or like yeah, some Soul Calibur character has stuff like that. So that would be cool.
Just a
And she
giant sword and a giant shield, but since they're magic, they weigh nothing. She'd be like,
yeah, and then she also has she also has basically magic plate mail, so she's like now the tank. And then
That's true.
she can summon. She has summons, so she's basically a tank with summons. So she's basically OP as hell. Um,
She's the Skycraft. She's your Skyrim character after you put way too many hours into it.
yeah, she's pretty OP. I'm really interested in seeing the use of her hardlight abilities. Um, and they're gonna go figure out what to do with the Ghost Bloods. Because she's going back to Irithyru. Then we get a little bit of Kaladin. He's watching them, and he's like, "Man, remember when I had a crush on Shallan? That was weird. I'm glad that didn't happen. She's good with Adolin, and I'm happy with my dudes." And then Syl's also like, "Well, I'm gonna find you somebody." So we'll get that maybe. And then they basically go to Stora. Like, pew, let's go.
Uh, he also realizes that if he does accept the heir, to be Dalinar's heir, um, yeah, Chris, we see you putting the hat back on. That he'll essentially become Adolin and Renarin's brother. Um, and there's a bunch of mention of like family and or the throne doesn't really take into account like blood necessarily. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and in their culture, there's not much difference between adopted and blood children.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shallan also thinks that the Oathgate Spren are transformed ink Spren, which is fun because you do have each one has a white and a black Spren standing there.
Yeah.
Oh, the creation Spren chanting Shallan's name was kind of funny and cute. There, Shallan, Shallan, Shallan.
Yeah.
The audiobook.
Yeah.
The audiobook it has that just it's like and they're swirling around her. Shala!
Yeah. That would drive me insane.
Um, let's see.
So we don't know what little sprint. Do we know what little sprint are? The Yasna's
No.
armor? No. Yeah.
See, I would have thought Yasna would be the like
Creation?
the Shadesmar beads. Because Yasna's so much better with that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what it is.
I'm trying because
So
it's
her other
Maybe
surge
logic
is
spring?
like transportation. Um,
so it's like the Madaras or no, those are wind, right? No, those are
the ones that pull the ships in
yeah,
Shadesmar?
those are oh my god, where are those? Yeah.
The Madras?
Yeah, those are gravity. No, not gravity. I forget what they are. They're not. They're also not tiny, so I don't know if it would be them.
I mean, they don't obey any rules of physics. Du-du-du-du. I don't know. I could see them.
Chris transportation. That's the only ones I remember from transportation.
Yeah, I could see those ending up being.
Yeah, or if they're also like music sprint, but I don't think it would be music sprint for Yasna.
Well, not since Music Spren bond Rashadium.
I mean, they could
I
bond
don't
other
think they would
people.
have dual purpose.
They could bond other people, probably.
I don't think you could bond. I don't think they bond multiple people. They would, but people can bond multiple Spren.
Or at least Shalon has been able to.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think anyone can do it.
I think there could be more. Like, I think you could, a human, if they could bond like a music sprint. It's just, they're like these, if they're these intelligent sprint that like get the actual bonds, but others can
Yeah, but
figure out.
Music's friends bond horses,
Yeah.
not people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. They bond
I
horses. It's been established they bond horses.
I did like the quote with
Sure.
Shallan, uh, where she was talking to Khaled and she's like, "Leave then," she said, "but we started this, you and I, Radiance before anyone else." And then Khaled was like, "Except Yasna and maybe Lift and perhaps you and I," she said, "were there at the start. We met at the end, like Adolin said, when the world is safe. Uh, we meet at the end, like Adolin said, when the world is safe and Dalinar's done what he needs to do, we can all laugh and joke again." That's day one. Shall we
They want to end the book.
tackle the interludes real
Yeah, I
quick
mean,
like?
not much happens in them. We get Kalak. He's chilling in Last Integrity. He's like, "What's up?" And then he gets restrained by some breath stuff. And then Felt's like, "Hey, guess what? Shallan didn't kill me because for some reason. And guess what?
Yeah.
The Sion is also the spy. What's up? We 4-dimensional chess you. Now we know everything, and I'm gonna name drop Kelsier, and then Ioli, and we're gonna go to the spirit realm. Peace out. And he like stabs him.
Iyatul.
Yeah.
The audiobook says Iyatul. I was always saying Ayatil.
Yeah.
Not
Like
Ioli. You said Ioli. That she's dead.
yeah.
That was Sadius's wife.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I guess I'm trapped. All right, cool. He doesn't kill
Watching
him
Nick
though.
in the background.
Yeah.
But also I got the sense that Felt is more um Felt is not doesn't work for Ayatel. He works for Kelsier.
I mean, he's a
And
ghost blood, so they all work for Kelsier.
maybe not, but because like
I mean, I guess
the
if Thadakar is Marsh, then not. But if Thadakar is Kelsier, then yes.
but so, Thydakar is Kelsier. I believe that. But anyway, Felt doesn't trust the dagger. He says he doesn't trust the dagger because Ayatel gave it to him.
Yeah,
And Kelsier told him to be careful.
there
I
seems
read that as be careful of Ayatel.
yeah.
He also called her a masked witch. So, what powers she might have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, we got a random dude from Mistborn showing up.
Yeah,
I still think that's still crazy that I was just like, well, who's this? Why does this person sound familiar?
Yeah, that apparently went to Warbreaker Land. Um,
got some breaths.
Yeah.
So
Warbreaker sounds like the easiest one. If you're like, I just want to get stronger, where do I go? Like the Warbreaker one sounds like legit. If you got like you got some money, just go buy your breaths.
yeah. The big thing is, dun dun dun,
If
the bad guys know where
you're gonna
the
get
the unmade is. Um, and then we got Odium. He's like chilling, and then like cultivation is like, "What's up? You should just not try to become all the gods." And he's like, "I'm gonna become all the gods to save the world." That's kind of
yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
cultivation is really dumb. She's not the brightest.
No, but she also her plan here in getting Taravangian to take Odium from Rays is not going as she wanted it to go.
Yeah.
So, Nyx!
Hey
Yay.
Nick.
Uh,
I don't know. I could see it having where if he has days where he's just super emotional and caring.
Well, he doesn't have that anymore.
Um, I guess he does. He kind of has both of it at the same time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
the icon is no longer a sad and a angry. It's like it is also it used to be one had like a vine that was just wilted and one had a straight sword. They're both now swords.
Hmm.
And I think he has the same look on his face. And with each one's because it's like one is upside down and the other is not, right? If you
Yeah.
look at the chapter icon,
Yeah.
it's changed from his other ones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out here now. He's just pure evil and he wins. No,
I
Amen.
still think that my theory has merit to it that he can still gather all the shards. Um,
But then he would win. And like that wouldn't he's not gonna win.
right, so I think in the end of the Cosmere, it's going to be Taravangian versus Sazed. And I
But then
think
what's the
Sazed is going to end up collecting more than just what he has right now.
but then what's the point of this series? Like that can't I mean it could happen. It just wouldn't be all that satisfying. Because then all the characters we like are gonna die and have not accomplished anything.
Well,
Unless it turns out he was good all along, and then this series is truly pointless.
because there's a micro
because it's a story.
story and there's a macro story, just like he says in here, where he's like, he and Cultivation are talking. It's kind of meta right now.
Yeah.
He and Cultivation are talking, and it's like, well, if I change these little bit of things that are so minute, then it causes so many like ripple effects out. Like if he, what was the example? If he removed the, um, basically he would create a world where there was no, why am I blanking on the words? Um,
Yeah,
what?
strife and stuff. Talking about
Uh,
no consequences.
no consequences. Yeah, he would create a world where there was no consequences. So he says by directly intervening on such a granular level, he risks creating a society where no one learned and where civilization did not progress. So, like, he Sanderson had a big idea for a series that spanned multiple worlds, and there are different magics on each of the worlds, but each of the worlds have to have their own little story. So you have to tell that. But then there's the bigger, the god level, the god tier story that's going on. You're gonna lose your human characters that aren't gods. So I like it. I don't think it takes away the point of these series. I think these series are gonna still be satisfying to me. Um, I mean, yeah,
Let's just say Odin's the bad guy. We know through fantasy the bad guy doesn't win, so he's not gonna win. He's either gonna like his plan's gonna be foiled in some way. And he's probably still gonna be alive or whatever.
I'm
But
not saying he wins.
I mean, if he gets two shards, he basically wins.
No, there's 16 shards. His goal
He
is to get
wins
all of them.
Stormlight. He
He
might
wins,
not
yeah,
win the Cosmere, but he wins Stormlight.
yeah. He wins the saga. I mean, maybe he does it in this book, and then the rest of the books is them like killing him again or something, or whatever the meta plot of this is. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't
All
know.
right, Justin. So who do we have for day two?
All right, we get a
What
billion.
Everyone.
We get a billion people. We get Dalinar, Yasna, Navani, Finn. It's interesting. We get Gox, we get Adolin, we get Shallan, we get Seth, we get Sigzel. Maybe he'll actually talk with Wit, would be cool. Kaladin, Lift, Renarin, Relaine, and Lopin. So you get basically everybody.
Yeah. I think this will be the first time we get Finn, Queen Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time we get basically Sigzel. Um, First time we get Lift in them. No. Maybe. No, she was in book 3.
She had her own book.
I was thinking mainline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm excited
that's
for it.
exciting. Look, my mother-in-law gave me this little
I
um
like it.
You're going back
thing
to
a
you're going
while
back to
back.
school.
So it
I like
it
that.
fits pretty well on this one. I think this is about the biggest size book that it will fit on. Um,
I
but
haven't thought of book covers since school.
right, it's made of cloth.
Looks like it's made of like stretchy nylon.
Yeah. It's one of the
No,
nice.
it's not stretchy at all.
Oh, it's not? It looks like it's
No,
kind
no,
of
like
okay. That's nice.
Yeah, this is
I
nice.
read a lot in my car, so it'd be nice to have something like that. I need something like that.
Eating your car?
Yeah, like I drop Nora off at like catechism and I just sit in the parking lot and read and dance classes I'm reading, piano classes I'm reading. I have a lot of free time in my car to read.
Fair enough.
all right, guys. Well, look at that. We very close to. I think we actually finished the day one before the interludes. Yeah, we were right at
Nice.
2 hours and 30 minutes. Right,
Wow.
got to the interludes. We're at 2 hours 38 minutes right now. So awesome job.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
it's fun with three people.
It is.
I feel like there's less dead air. Like we're able to converse a little bit more than just two. I mean, I enjoy it with Justin and I. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I look forward to finishing the rest of this book. Next week we cover day two. I think
Which is huge.
this is yeah, this is what
I
the
can finally read
biggest.
day 2.
This is the biggest section by far, and then day three is the smallest section.
Yeah, it's like 200 pages, something like that.
Yeah, 200 pages, 21 chapters. So, um, everybody get to reading. We'll be back next week to discuss this. Leave a like, follow, subscribe, share, rating, review, any of those things.
Put
It
your
helps
own
us out.
theories in the comments. Come on, we want to see what days y'all think stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah,
But don't
exactly.
spoil if you've read it.
No spoiling. Yeah, if you spoil, we'll be very angry. I don't think you're lying anyway. Who knows?
Yeah. Um,
No
visit
one
our
thought Bran was gonna win.
the what?
Said no one thought Bran was gonna win.
But he had the best story.
Yeah.
I remember looking at Vegas, and Vegas had odds on who was gonna sit on the throne at the end of Game of Thrones, and Bran had like hands down was like the front runner. I was like, Bran? Well, Bran's not gonna win. I wonder why Vegas has him as the front runner.
They
I
had
was like,
inside information.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, visit our sponsor, Mudcat Whiskers, www.mudcatwhiskers.com. Use code paperweights at checkout and save yourself some money. And yeah, tomorrow's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Not the tomorrow when people actually get to watch or listen to this, but the tomorrow from when we recorded. So yeah. Um, yeah, y'all don't get to know what day we recorded, so have fun with that. All right.
All
We
right.
will be back next week.